So I'm going to ask the question that everybody wants to know. Are you planning on branching off? Do you see yourself branching off, or do you plan on seeing yourself long haul with Camp? All right, guys, we're back at it with another episode of Donuts and Do. My special guest this week is Bo. Obviously, you've seen Bo plenty of times, and but we're gonna get in depth with Bo this week. I know a lot of people have been asking, what's up with Bo? You know, they want a backstory, they want a sneaker collection preview, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll get in depth with him, and we'll learn about Bo. I might learn about Bo. Who knows? So my first question, Bo, is what got you into sneaker reselling?
So I originally just loved shoes. I grew up in the era of Nike basketball going crazy. So like Kobe 7s, LeBron 8s, and LeBron 9s, that kind of KD 4s, that kind of stuff. And I remember when those were flying off shelves. Even like the Nike, what are they called? The Hyper...
Hyperfuse?
No, the other one. The Hyper Dunk. Hyper Dunks.
Oh, the Hyper Dunk?
The Hyper Dunk, the 2011 pair. I went crazy over those. I bought 3 of those with all the money that I had. I just needed. I was in 7th, 8th grade, and I just needed them. But what got me into sneakers was I actually got gifted a shoe one time. It was a LeBron 9 Championship Elite, the white one. And ever since then, I just fell in love with shoes. And then it got, my addiction got worse from there. But yeah, that's where I started. And then I've been a size 13 since I was that age. So I've been able to keep everything. So,
nice.
I've been really lucky to be able to keep all my pairs. But I mean, then I found the money side to it, and I thought that was a really cool thing. And then I got to meet a lot of cool people, and I started watching YouTube for people like Cam, and thought that was really cool. Some of the people I used to watch when I was younger was Just Win, Blazing Dairy, Kais, and Blake Linder. I used to watch those kinds of guys. Just because it was cool to be all hype beast and that, all the cool expensive stuff and,
At 7th and 8th grade, that was all hype beasty stuff?
I mean, I tried to be like that, but I mean, I didn't really have the money, or I didn't really want to go in like that because it wasn't as popular for me at that point. And I was really only into shoes. Clothes was not really like where I wanted to go into. So yeah, that's pretty much my story on reselling, but getting into sneakers was definitely a collector's thing. And just having shoes to wear for basketball was definitely where I started.
I guess there's different eras, because I grew up in the OG era where you can just walk in the store and you had to call the stores and all that stuff. And he grew up in the hype beastie era where I guess it started all the backdooring. I guess would you say he was backdooring back then? Or
I was not backdooring. I wasn't even that sophisticated. Like I didn't really start reselling till like late high school because I got a job when I was 16, and that's when I started getting money to be able to spend on shoes and resell. So like before that point, I wasn't reselling just because I didn't have the money for it. But definitely was like a really cool era for me because like even my parents like were into it. Like they like with what the Kobe 8. I remember we woke up super early, my mom and I, and we tried getting them online. And she got like really like frustrated that she didn't even get to the checkout, like, or even on the website they sold out so quick. So she got mad, and it was just from that point on, like that was one of the like big grails of mine that I really wanted, which I have now. I do have it now. Yeah, I'm just sorry, but there's just shoes that I feel like I've missed out on that I've gone back and made sure that I've gotten when I was younger that I couldn't get. So that's a really cool thing. What about me? What about you, Henry? Like with your cause do you feel like that? Like a pair that came out when you were a child, like you couldn't get? Did you ever like go back and like?
Well, I grew up from a family of 5, so my mom was very strict. If she couldn't buy for all, she wouldn't buy for one. So, in high school, I got a job and I started to, believe it or not, I would find ways to make money and try to get into the sneaker culture. I remember we were doing like a project at a library downtown in Baltimore. This is where I grew up. Yeah. And there's a Shoe City probably about a couple blocks away on Lexington Market. And I remember on the lunch break going there, and I bought a pair of Bo Jacksons, the SC Trainer Highs. And it was like a white, black, and red colorway, phenomenal colorway. And I just remember getting those, and I was like really just starting my passion. So I buy what I like. I don't buy what's hot or what's hip. I mean, if I like it, I buy it. Coming soon, I'll have a video of my collection. That's actually in the works now. So I buy what I like, and I don't care about trends or hype or all that stuff. So, but for you, what was the shoe that really like cemented you as a reseller or as this entrepreneurship of trying to move shoes and stuff like that?
I would say the one shoe that showed me how reselling worked, or how I thought it could work, was the Shatter Backboard 1.0s. So I used to buy off this website. It's called Soul Serious, I think. Soul Seriousness. I think back in the day, I was like a freshman in high school, and they had them for like $350, you know, and they had a full size run. And I'm a 13, so I ordered a 13. And that's all the money I had. And my mom did not like that decision, but I got them anyway. And so I wore them one time, I think. And a year later, I think I sold them at SneakerCon for like $550, and I paid $350, and I wore them. So like that really showed me that like how markets work with sneakers. And I'm an economics major, so like that really spoke to like my passion at that moment that I didn't really know yet, is just like knowing markets and being able to show like what happens when stock goes up, down, you know, whatever. So when I saw that I could make $200, even though it was a year that went by, like that I could make money off shoes that either I didn't want anymore, or if I bought them and then over time they'd go up in value, and if I didn't wear them I could still sell them for more. That was when the reseller in me like kind of caught hold of me. So ever since then, if I ever like really want a shoe, I just buy it. And if I know that I'm gonna wear it like 100%, for instance, like what's a recent shoe? Like I bought my Travis Scott ones. I bought those used, so I knew 100% I was wearing them. You know, but I did have 3 brand new pairs at one time. So like I knew that value of that shoe was gonna go up, especially when it was only at like 800, 750. So that's when I was buying them.
Do you find it hard to buy shoes that you want brand new and then un-DS them?
It's tough. I'm actually wearing a shoe right now. I'm wearing the MCA Off-White Air Force. I mean, I'll show you. I'm wearing this one right here. I actually got these DS because I couldn't find them anywhere used, and I needed them. I really like Air Forces, so I had to order them. I ordered them for the high, but I mean, I un-DS'd them immediately. That's one example, but yes, as time has gone on, like ever since I got older, it's really hard for me to un-DS shoes just because I know how much value I'm losing out on. But the only thing with that is I have to wait usually with these newer releases for someone to wear them, and then for them to the used market to settle in. Because if you look, let's say for a Mocha right now, in my size especially, brand new's around 430, 450-ish, sometimes upwards of 500. I can't find a used pair for lower than 400, so it's like I have to wait a little bit of time to be able to get that price, because it just takes time for too many used pairs to go into the market, so that people need the money, kind of thing.
Right. I understand where you're coming from when it's trying to un-DS something, because I have a few. I'm just like, should I un-DS this or should I DS this?
Right.
Or keep a DS, and it's just like like a noodle scratcher. So. What was the, where did you get your first opportunity to really like hone in on your skill to start reselling more and more?
Well, it was when I really had the capital to do it. I think that I was more collecting, and even through college, like I was collecting. I was not reselling very much. I would just watch values of shoes go up, and you know, hopefully I still had them. I would say in college, that was probably like 2 years ago, was probably when I started like really reselling out of my dorm room. It wasn't anything crazy, like a high scale operation. It was more like a low thing. I would just post on Big Feet Sneaks on Instagram. I used to use that platform. I still do sometimes, just because it costs what, $2 for a post, and they have like, you know, 40,000 followers, and I only buy my size usually, just because that's the market that I know. Some people tell me that I need to buy other sizes, but I mean, if I really don't want to if let's say I pay high on something and I'll just wear it anyway. That's kind of where my head is. But at the end of the day, like that was when I started reselling because I knew I could make some money, but I also like was in college and I kind of needed the money as well. But I would have summer internships to be able to build up my capital and then start reselling again. The biggest thing that got me like to high-end resell is in investing was this last summer actually. I got a lot of money saved up and I couldn't find a job because COVID and everything. My internship got canceled. So I saved all the money that we were getting from stimulus and stuff, and I invested it into shoes. And I got really lucky that I invested in the right ones. I have a lot of shoes back home. I have like 150 pairs back home, and I have about 20 here that I'm just invested in. Some personal, some not. But that's kind of when I got into a high scale. I'm not a very good quick flip kind of person. And that's what's cool with working here with Cam. He's really taught me a lot on how we could do so much better. The money's higher and the profits are better when you're quick flipping rather than holding. I'm more of a less risk kind of person. So like, if I know a shoe's gonna go up, then why not just do that? So, yeah.
Do you find it easier to? Do you find it better back then or today to really like grab pairs so easily for yourself?
Well, I will say that working with Cam has really given me a little bit of clout, I'd say, and I'm going to acknowledge that. Like, I understand that, because I'm working with Cam, people know who I am now, and they are more likely to do business with me now, I'd say, and I think it's given me access to more resources. So, unintentionally, it's not why I'm here, but it was more of a just came with the job kind of thing. Right. So yeah, I would say it's gotten a little easier. But at the end of the day, I've said this to Henry and Cam many times. I have mostly every pair I've probably ever wanted, and I'm very satisfied with the pairs that I do have. So yes and no, it does help, access wise. But at the end of the day, like, it's a business, and if it works out, it works out, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, and then you kind of just wait for the opportunity to get it elsewhere. Because I don't mind paying resale for things, and I know Henry's the same way. We don't mind paying resale at all. We pay resale in here all the time. Yeah. So like we
don't get discounts.
Yeah, we don't.
We pay
resale.
Like now we understand that.
Yeah. So so like we don't get a lot of stuff for retail. Like we've gotten lucky, sometimes for sure, but definitely like majority of my pairs are all resale, I'd probably say.
So do you, working for Cam, do you see yourself working for Cam in the long term, or do you see yourself branching off, or do you see yourself, a lot of people have mentioned this, yeah. So I'm going to ask the question that everybody wants to know. Are you planning on branching off? Do you see yourself branching off, or do you plan on seeing yourself long haul with Cam?
So with that, there's a lot of big life decisions that I have to make pretty rapidly just because I'm a senior in college. I graduate in May, and I'm really excited for the next chapter of my life. I go to Franklin and Marshall College. It's about 30 minutes from York, toward Philadelphia, and for 4 years I played college basketball and also did school, and I've had a job through sorry, my voice cracked. But I've had a job through college and tried to maintain all my friends and my relationships and stuff like that. So I've been very busy, and I keep myself very busy. But the opportunity with Cam came up, and I couldn't pass it up. Obviously, it's been very beneficial for myself, and I would hope that it's beneficial for Cam, so I can return the favor to him, just because he's really given me an opportunity to do well as help the business out as best I can. In regards to myself and my future, I was offered a job opportunity in Dallas, back in my hometown. And it was a big kind of contractual.
Yeah, 1 minute.
It was like a big contractual kind of offer for me, and as of now, that's where I'm going to go. Unfortunately, that's the path I need to take just for my career, and because I have a lot of things. I'm only 22 years old, and I have a lot of things to think about, and I have a family, so. I do not plan on getting my own store. I don't plan on doing that.
Okay.
I see all those comments and those kicks and stuff. I promise, guys, I'm not in it for that. I'm not here to build up my brand and then go out. That's not my plan. I plan to just resell on the side for fun, and I don't plan on starting a store. So all the comments about that, like, it just doesn't sit well with me, especially because Cam's really given me an opportunity and to do something like that. While, like, sure, it could happen, but at the end of the day, I don't see myself doing that, and I don't think it's a good energy, a good vibe to be able to be spreading. Because I know Cam doesn't want to hear that, because he really, you know, gave me wings to be able to do better, you know, and I think that that's unfair, you know, to say that I would do something, you know, like that. So no, that's not in my plans. I just want to clear that up.
That's
you know?
good answer. I like it. All right, guys, so we just had a brief interruption. We've been waiting for the last couple of days for our new racking to come in so we can store the shoes. If you don't know, because you don't know, behind you is probably about 200 pairs of shoes. And we had to stop to unload the truck real quick, so we got to unload it. And now I'm back with Bo. Bo, how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I was kind of frustrated too, because we were doing good on the podcast, man.
I know,
we were doing good. We were asking some good questions.
I know.
You know?
But it's okay, because now we're back, and we can continue. We have a great editor, by the way, so we can definitely edit all this together, and it'll make complete sense later on. Thank you, editor. Anyway, so you said you're not going to go back and start your own thing. You're kind of happy where you're at, which is really good to hear, because, you know, we're trying to grow as a business, and we're trying to, you know, make moves and stuff like that, as you know, because you're an integral part of that. And I mean, honestly, in my opinion, without you, I don't think we'd be as successful as if you know what I mean? Like, if you weren't with us.
And I appreciate that. You know,
I'm glad to hear that you're going to be hanging around for a while with us.
Definitely.
With that being said, do you have that urge to start your own thing or anything like that? You don't have no urge whatsoever?
No, because I am a very observant person, and you guys don't understand what Cam goes through every day. I don't know how he does it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And I don't know how he did this before Henry and I got here, and the other employees as well, like Ronnie and Henry as well.
Yeah, Henry 2.0.
Yeah, 2.0, yes, sir. So anyway, I have no idea how he did this by himself, because the things that we have to do every day, it's a lot of work. It really is. Henry and I get here at 8 a.m. every morning, and Henry stays all day. I don't, because I have to go to class. But Henry stays here 8 to 6 all day, and he doesn't get Saturdays off. I don't usually get Saturdays off. I finally got my first Saturday off last week, but we've been working our butts off lately, and I know we've been expanding, so it makes sense. But I still am amazed how he did it by himself. So for me, him being able to surround himself with good people, as well as, you know, be able to have the capital to start something like this, and to be able to not be scared at 19 years old to invest this much money into product that's, you don't know. It's, you do know, but you don't. Like, a lot of our stuff is good product, but at the end of the day, like, some of it's used, some of it's brand new. You got to make sure everything's authentic. You got to, you know, pay for rent for the store. You got to pay for the materials to be able to, like a rack, like the rackings that we have to put up. You have to make the store presentable. We have to travel. You know, we have to pay expense. He mentioned his expenses. I had just, that to me, it's just so risky. And for him to do as well as he's doing at such a young age, as well as such a young age of the business, it is incredible to me. And I know that it's not necessarily a Cinderella story, but it definitely is something that I think was very hard to do, and a lot of people underestimate it. Not me, because I don't underestimate it at all. I know what it goes through to probably start this business and go through it, because to me, it's just not something I'd want to go through myself personally.
I can speak a little bit on it because I've tried, but like, it's a lot of work to get inventory and then find a place that's going to be flourishing. It's not that easy. Obviously, you can find a building that's for rent or leasing, and then go ahead and put all that together. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the foot traffic or the knowledge to really run a business, it's going to be extremely difficult. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were just listing stores in our immediate area that have come and then folded up as quick as it's came, and it sucks, but you have to understand like the full value of what you're doing, and be very smart about that. In the sneaker industry and the culture in general, it's your name is everything, and
it's cutthroat too.
It's very cutthroat, but like, your name is everything, and Luckily, we have a ton of supporters that come and support us all the time to make sure that we're good.
Right.
Do you feel that with yourself, did you have a lot of support in sneaker reselling and stuff like that?
I made sure that I did, my part, and I covered, what I needed to cover with my name and, how I was putting my business out there myself. Because I didn't really sell that much, but when I did, I made sure that things were, fair, and they were, made sure that I covered my end. Like I shipped shoes when I said I shipped shoes. I paid when I said I needed to pay, stuff like that. And I trusted people, that maybe I shouldn't have trusted, and that resulted in me, losing some money, and it happens to everybody. We all get scammed sometimes, but you know what? The reality is that it happens, and we move on from it, and we try to learn from it, and hope that that person that did that to you, needed the money more than you did.
Right.
And that's kind of a positive viewpoint of getting scammed and things like that. But I understand it stinks. It just sucks, and your heart drops. And I remember I got scammed one time. I used to do eBay all the time before StockX and everything, and I got a fake pair of Oxford Tans, and I was, 15, 14 years old, and I thought that I could trust this guy. They were fake, I could tell, and I said, hey man, I would like my money back. I opened a claim on PayPal, and he said, I remember Tuesday, he said, cancel the claim, close the claim, and I'll send you money in an envelope. Literally, it was like, I'll send you cash in an envelope. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And I closed it. And, on PayPal, if you close the claim, it's over. So I remember that to this day. Like, I was that gullible. And it happens all the time. And, I learned from that mistake. Never did it again, obviously. But, with reselling, I think that your name, like Henry said, is everything. I would rather miss out on a bunch of sales or miss out on an opportunity rather than risk, my name getting tossed in the conversation of scamming and, not ripping people off and stuff like that. It's just not something that I want to do. That's just me. Henry, I know you've been reselling for a while.
Been doing it since 2006, 7. I remember just kind of the trials and tribulations of reselling.
Right.
I grew up in the age where you had Nike Talk, you had the Soul Collector forums, and basically it was good faith. Like, you hope this person was good, and you'd give feedback and stuff like that. I remember back in the day, you only had PayPal and send money orders for eBay and those, forums. And I just remember sending it and hope I got it. And there were some times where I didn't. And you kind of, it's a lesson learned. If you didn't. And back then in PayPal, it was even easier than it is today. But it's unfortunately a part of the business, and it sucks. But I remember my first ever sneaker meetup, I was robbed at gunpoint. So, I've been through it all. I've seen every type of scam. I've seen every type of, happenstance where it doesn't work out for the benefit. So, there's pretty hard to try to pull something through by me.
Right.
But it is what it is, and you got to learn from it. And obviously, we've both learned from it, and we have to move on from it.
Exactly.
So, with that being said, I kind of want to do a little rapid fire with you and just have a little bit of fun. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you have to answer very quickly.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
What's your favorite shoe of all time?
Red Octobers.
Do you have a pair of Red Octobers?
I do.
When are we going to get to see these pair of Red Octobers?
When we go to Texas.
Okay. All right. So that's coming soon.
That is in the works.
All right. What's your least favorite shoe?
Oh, God. Model?
Yeah.
We got to pick one.
Retro. Jordan. Retro Jordan.
Honestly, anything I don't like anything above. I like the 17s, Jordan 17s, but there's some ones that I don't like. In between 20.
Do you like the 17s?
I don't know.
Okay.
I like some of it, but some of the Jordan models.
What is your Holy Grail?
Holy Grail that I don't have?
Yeah.
Oh, the Yeezy Solars, the 2s, because that's the only one I don't have.
You have the Platinums?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the shoe you can do without? You have it, but you can do without.
There's a lot of those actually. Cause 4s, gray ones.
You have them, but you can do without.
They're brand new, yeah.
I heard that they're not as comfortable as it looks.
No, because it's that hard grippy leather, like leather inside, and then it's all suede on the outside. So it's
why did they even put
stiff.
Leather inside of shoes?
I don't know. I don't know.
It is so tacky.
I don't know. It's a cool shoe.
My ankles sweat. which I'm gonna get roasted for in the comments. But my ankles sweat, so like, why would that? You know what I mean? That leather.
I don't know. Definitely that shoe though.
It's nasty looking.
It's just been sitting in my room. I haven't even worn it. I bought it like 3 years ago.
What is the shoe that you're most looking forward to? Oh. We were talking about this the other day.
Okay,
too.
so I actually have a couple. The off-white canary ones, need them. Like, absolutely need them.
Is it better than UNC?
Oh, man. I think so. Hot take. I think so. I like the retro UNCs more than the off-whites, personally. I've had a pair of UNCs, and I got rid of them. But then the second release I actually pretty recently that I know that I want is LeBron wore them to the All-Star game. The yellow version of the MCA Air Force.
Okay.
Have you seen those? LeBron is the only one I know that has them, but they're definitely confirmed releasing, I think. They're all yellow with a silver swoosh and black stitching. Yeah, I'm gonna need that one. And then there's some other ones coming out this year.
What about in general history?
General history that I want.
Sneakers, yeah. I think you listed some movies on the drive.
Yeah. So I like the Street Hawkers. I think that's a cool design. UNC 3s.
That walks in all the time.
I know.
I'm talking about like Grails,
Grails.
not general release.
Okay.
That type stuff.
I always wanted the Slam Dunk 6s.
Okay.
I always wanted that shoe.
That is a fire shoe. That's my top 5 that we talked about the other day.
Goodness.
So.
That's a great one. Let's see. Oh, Do the Right Thing 3s. Love those. And we have a pair. We were just saying. Remember I said the other day I freaked out. So we have this shoe, and I didn't know we had it. We have a Laser 4.
Oh,
that
shoe you didn't even know we had
is so nice. And then the black pair, that shout out Joe LaPuma. He's like my favorite person to watch on YouTube. People say I was mannerisming like him on the.
Are you?
Anyway, he wears the black ones all the time. I mean, but that's a really good one. That's all that's on the top of my head, right? Like Grails.
Yeah, I mean, those are some good shoes, but like, I think like
give me some ideas.
Grail is like maybe like an Oregon or like a 101. Like,
okay.
Like we were talking about the other
Here we
day.
go.
6s.
I got it now.
The Macklemore, obviously, I would probably do
the
any
green one or
the green one.
The green one.
Yeah,
that's a cool one. So, like I said, big into Nike basketball originally. So, what the LeBron 10, huge, awesome shoe. I have the 11s, which I died over that shoe. I love that shoe. The LeBron 10 championship pack, loved that shoe. Couldn't get that one either. What else? What the Kobe 7? I don't have that one. I want that one. I like Nike basketball stuff. I don't know. And then
Nike basketball is so slept on.
Oh, the CPFM dunks, the SB dunks, the all silver with the
rhinestones, the Swarovskis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I like those.
That's a cool 25.
I'm just going with
Right.
Yeah,
do you So I know you mentioned Joe LaPuma several times in this podcast. So, who would be I'm assuming that would be the person you would want to meet the most if you had to meet somebody in the sneaker culture that is like pretty, pretty bad. Like, would that be him or would it be somebody else?
No, it'd probably be someone else.
Who would that person be?
I'd really want to meet Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty? Okay.
Lil Yachty.
Do you feel like your sneaker collection's better than his sneaker collection?
No, not even close.
Not even close?
Did you watch that?
I watched it.
Oh my goodness. I was freaking out the whole time. Like, the whole time he was bringing up pairs, I was just like, no way. Like, he has stuff that I didn't even know existed. Some of the stuff. I was
Do you feel like you can get those pairs though?
No.
Is it like 101s?
It's like less than 10 of some. He has one of like less than 10, less of 40, less of 50. He has, oh man. And then like Offset has like the Travis Scott 6, the yellow one. That's like a 101, I'm pretty sure. So like.
Right. I mean, they're plugged in, so obviously you can get them a little
right.
Right. Like
I mean, I'm plugged in now.
Oh, you're plugged in now?
I'm plugged in.
Okay. I hear you. I don't know.
We'll see.
What do you feel that the sneaker culture will be like in 5 years? I have a follow-up question to that real quick before you answer that question. Yeah. In 1929, the stock market crashed, which was one of the worst days in history, they say. Do you see that with the sneaker culture? Do you see a worse day in history for the sneaker culture? Because people swear by these apps and they utilize these apps more than anything. Do you feel like there's going to be a collapse in the sneaker industry?
No.
Why don't you feel that way?
No, people are still gonna want shoes. They're still gonna like, even through recessions and stuff like that, prices on shoes don't dramatically drop. They still drop a little bit on higher priced items, but people are still gonna want the new retro release. They're still gonna want, you know, a re-release. Like, they retroed the Bread Yeezys and resale dropped, but at the end of the day, they're still going for double or 2.5 times higher than retail was anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if people get, you know, bored with the new designs and stuff, they'll just start retroing everything. It's just like how it's gonna work. I think that, sure, Nike basketball has died off and that makes sense, but like iconic silhouettes like Jordan 1s and Jordan 3s, Jordan 4s, anything like Kanye Yeezy stuff, like I think that stuff, you know, and all the new models that Nike's making, like the Sakai Waffle, I hate that shoe, but it's doing crazy good. Like, it makes, to me, just, I don't even like it, but it, you know, it's doing really well. So like, they're very innovative, I think, at Nike and, you know, these other places, and I think these other brands are going to start finding out that, you know, these endorsement deals with artists and, you know, more or less professional athletes, but these artist deals are doing really well. And like, for instance, Travis Scott, anything that he puts out is automatically like super great, you know, even if it doesn't look great. You know, Kanye's also a good example. But I think some of these other brands are going to start taking notice of that. I know Puma has, anything like Beyonce and Rihanna have come out with, have done pretty well also.
Well, Beyonce's with Adidas.
Oh.
So.
Oh, well, that sucks. I'm getting roasted for that.
Yep.
Oops.
And
But
babies with Reebok.
But to answer his question, no, I don't think the sneaker market's going to crash. I think that, you know, hate to say it, but when, you know, R.I.P. Kobe, when Kobe died, you know, that market went crazy, and then there's the morality question of whether you should, you know, sell Kobe's for the high or things like that. I think personally everyone should have a pair of Kobe's. That's just me.
I have 2 pairs of Kobe's currently.
I have a bunch back home, but I think everyone should have a pair of Kobe's. But like, what will happen?
I was never a Kobe shoe fan, even you know, God rest his soul. But I was never really a fan of.
That's like my favorite shoe to hoop in. Those Kobe's, any Kobe's. You know, probably my favorite comfort wise, and you know, they're light and usually really flexible. You know, versatile. So I really like that shoe. But no, I don't think it's going to die off. I think that one day there's going to be a new wave. I don't know what it is, but every year it just seems like a new model, not a new model, but like a different silhouette, like is the shoe like silhouette of the year. Because like this year, mids like in the last like couple months have been going crazy. And then like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I first came to the store, like mids were doing pretty good. You know, when I first got here, I would say pretty good. But we have a bunch of mids in the store now.
Are mids going to replace the highs?
No.
Okay.
Never.
I was kind of getting ahead of myself there.
Hold on. You're the one who loves the mids here.
I do like mids because I think all, like, again, I wear what I like and not what's hype. So mids are a little bit more comfortable.
But the sneaker game in 5 years was your other question. I think that there's going to be some kind of, I don't know, I think somebody's going to come into Nike and I think they're going to make every color Jordan 1 because there's too much upside for them not to do that. I think they're going to try to make every color that they can within the next 5 years, 10 years. With Kanye, I'm not even sure what he's going to do next because he came out with stuff that I think is ugly, but you know, does really well. Like a foam runner, who would have thought of that? And they sold out instantly. The 450 thing just sold out.
But I think a lot of the models in general, like every first model always does really well. Like the ready-made blazers that just came out recently, like they're selling for the high. But once they produce more, I think those are they're going to go down in value. Just like the Space Hippies, the very first model of Space Hippies did really well, and then they put out more colors of the Space Hippies. I mean, it's been shown like the first model of the Adidas 380s, the Aliens, like they did really well. And then like the calcites, the Onyx, like all those colors are going for below retail.
Fire shoe, calcite.
No, it's not like an Alien, but that I have. But shout out Cam's Kicks. But yeah, so I'm just saying, like,
I hear you.
The very first model is always the best model, but I can keep going. The Element React 87 because now they make the 55 model. You got like so many different colorways. They'll reproduce. I mean, the death of NMDs, like. because they mass produced the NMDs and they just kept changing it.
To this day, I will always tell people that the Ultra Boost is the most comfortable shoe I've ever put on my foot. To this day is the most comfortable. I still have a bunch of pairs. I love them. Yeah. But I hear what you're saying. I understand that. And I don't think that there's going to be like, you know, a downfall in the sneaker game. But I do, like, with these new models, it's a little unpredictable because, like you said, like, those other models didn't, you know, first the ones did well and then the other ones don't do as well. But, like, let's say, like, for instance, the, what was I going to say? The Sakai I was talking about. Like, the Sakai Waffle did really well. They made a bunch of colorways, and then they just came out with the 2.0, and that one is insane. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't... to me, it's like...
From a value standpoint, yes, but from an aesthetic standpoint, this thing is the ugliest.
I understand, yeah.
So.
I mean, but people seem to not really care about the aesthetic as much anymore.
Do you see people wearing Sakai Waffles?
I have a friend.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Nobody's wearing Sakai Waffles. They're just going to keep reselling them. Nobody's wearing the Sakai nylons, the Vapor Waffles.
All right.
The Nike Balenciaga, so to speak. Like, you don't see people wearing those.
Yeah, I guess. I have a question for you, Henry. What's your most favorite release that's came out in 2021 so far? And a follow-up question I have when you're done answering.
My most favorite release in 2021? I mean, I'm kind of like in the dunk craze right now, but I can't ever get any of my size. So,
we went 0 for 4 today, both of us.
We did. Shout out to the trucking company that allowed me to find that out the hard way because I looked at my phone and thank you sneakers for once again. But I mean, I like the Cool Air 3s. I actually have them on my feet now. But so far, I mean, I like the Carmines. I mean, I love the Silver Toes, which is right there. I think it's just a dope colorway. I'm going to be wearing mine in Vegas for obvious reasons. So,
nice.
Shout out Raiders.
Nice.
So, I mean, I don't get hyped over sneakers, which is crazy. I just, again, I like I buy what I like. And, like, I don't go like, oh my God, I need a shoe, because at the end of the day, as soon as it walks through the door, and if you guys have seen, I buy it right away if I want it. So, it's just something I want. I'll buy it and I'll wear it once, and then I put it on the shelf, and I may come across it again, because I've bought the same shoe twice and didn't even realize it. So, shout out Spizike 6.
So my follow-up question was, I was kind of thinking about the UNC, the University Blues that came out recently, just last week. I saw this question the other day. People were saying that it could possibly be a top 5 Jordan 1 colorway that's not an OG colorway. What do you think about that?
We don't know what the future holds. But
right
in the current standing, absolutely not. You want me to name all 5? I can name
agree.
5 better.
I agree.
You got the Rookie of the Year.
I like that.
Okay.
Let's go.
You have, I guess Off-White's not including the Chicago.
No, Off-White.
Not
obviously.
But okay.
You can't do Off-White.
What did I say was my first one again?
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year, way better, I think. I just love that tone. The Mocha. You have, if you want to take it back to like 18, I think the metallic red and the metallic purple, those were fire colorways. Is that considered an OG colorway though? First you have to define what an OG colorway is.
Mine was.
Is it like the Chicago, the red toe?
Yeah, that stuff. And then if they were 85s, like those are OGs too.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on how you classify it, because they spice it up a little bit.
I guess.
But I would have to say, anyway, I can name 5 without that.
Rookie
of the Year, the Mocha, you have the Dornbecker 1, you have the Obsidian 1, because that's not an OG colorway.
I was going to say that one.
And then, what's another great one? Honestly, the Dave White wings is probably one of those top 5 type. I mean, they're all really cool looking shoes. Right. I mean, I can keep going, but those are the 5 I can think off the top of my head that are way better than the UNC one.
I would definitely include the Shatter backboards in mine, just because I know that's
Shatter backboards.
Colorway,
the ones, the 2, the twos, the satins. Honestly, even the mid.
The satin ones, those are crazy. Yeah. We haven't gotten any of those in the store.
But if a 12.5 or a 12 walks in, you already know what's going to happen.
Straight to toe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for that question, that's not even a relevant question. I'm sorry. And I know all the hypebeasts out there are going to disagree with me, but that's okay, because the OGs will agree with me that those 5 shoes are probably way better than that UNC.
Right.
Top 5, really? The UNC
Someone
one.
said, I don't know, I saw it the other day, and it was,
it's not even a UNC one, it's a University Blue
well,
one.
it was like, I think the ending vote was like 62% said no, 38% said
What
yes.
was the 38% even
I don't know.
thinking?
Well, I mean, probably it's a younger crowd.
If somebody, first of all, let's just get clear the air. If somebody wants to challenge me on sneakers and my knowledge on sneakers, please feel free.
He does know just about every sneaker.
Yeah, so we can definitely go toe to toe on that and the knowledge that I have, because I can't even believe that's a question. I'm baffled. It must have been some newbie that's new into the, like, now you're making me rant. So I can't even believe that was even a question.
It's probably everybody that said yes hit on sneakers.
Right. I mean, I had 3 pairs, but like, I'm not stroking my own ego. Not my size though.
Nice.
Don't get me wrong, I would probably have it in the collection because that's a nice spring, colorway and stuff like that. But to be a top 5 Jordan 1, is that a top 5 all time or just
all time? That's not an OG or an 85.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not even close.
I agree. Nope.
Not even close.
Nope.
Not even close. And if you guys want to dispute this with me, please feel free to chime in the comments below, and I'll be glad to chime in with you because no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I disagree too.
I'm just like,
you're baffled. Eh?
Yeah, like I don't even know what to say after this point.
I know.
So, I guess okay. In closing, I just think that the sneaker culture is always evolving.
Yeah.
I think we evolved during this pandemic. We evolved before the pandemic. It's evolved since I started back in 2006-07. So it's going to continue to evolve. Do I feel like there's going to be a crash? Because I kind of asked you that question. I think there will be some type of hiccup in the near future. I mean, obviously, some of the apps we use isn't the most reliable. They do tend to send us things that aren't authentic. But at the end of the day, I feel like that all this stuff that's happening in my generation, I mean, we're not too far off in age, but like my generation and doing sneakers and your generation's two totally different.
Yeah.
It's not compare. You can't even compare apples to oranges.
So yeah. I think what's interesting, I think is like a whole kind of talk that I think is a good conversation that needs to be had, is where did all these people come from that are now sneaker authenticators? Where did these people get dubbed the title sneaker authenticator? I don't know every shoe. I mean, I would like to, and I've studied all the time on it, but like, if I don't know a shoe, then I don't know a shoe. But like, these people get sent, StockX, for instance, they get sent in shirts and collectibles and rookie cards, watches. Yeah. See, like that's the
I
thing.
wouldn't want somebody to authenticate a $12,000 Rolex.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
No.
I'd rather just go buy one from the place in general.
Right. So like that's a cool topic. I think that somebody could talk about or mention down in the comments or link another person that already talked about something like that along those lines. Mm-hmm. I just think that that's kind of how we're going. I think like that crash that you thought may could happen is going to be a result of bad actors getting into the process, and I think that that's an option for a crash like that. But personally, from an economics kind of perspective, if you guys don't like economics or think it's stupid, just tune this part out, skip ahead. But the stimulus package is going to get passed again. I think that there's going to be a long-term kind of stimulus going to be instituted with this Biden administration, just because I believe that over long term it is less efficient to keep giving people stimulus packages unless you go progressive or recessively smaller stimulus packages we grow out of the pandemic and these vaccinations come out. So I think that's going to put more money in the pockets of Americans as well as people overseas. I think they've already gotten a little better with COVID and everything. But I think that people are going to have more money in their pocket to be able to spend on sneakers and goods and services. So that's why I don't think in the near future something will happen. But I have been wrong, and Henry's been right many, many, many times. So we don't know. It's unknown. So if you like a shoe, my advice is to buy it because I think the value is only going to appreciate on probably I'd venture to say 90% of the shoes.
Shoes are like it's a weird comparison, but I believe shoes are like gold. It only appreciates in value if you don't wear them.
Right.
But again, it is. my favorite line, market manipulation. So you have to be careful. Just like how the stock market is, you got to know when to pull your money out and when to put it all in.
Right.
So obviously, I would always recommend doing your research and really knowing what you're doing. I've done this for, I think, like 15 years now, and like I said, I had to change with the times, but like I still do it. Like I research shoes that came out in 2007 the same ones I have to research in 2021. So I got to make sure that when we're buying, I think he can contest. I very seldomly use StockX because my knowledge is.
Yeah.
I'm always looking at numbers. I don't use StockX to ballpark a price on a used shoe or Goat or any of those apps. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you for tuning in to this episode of Donuts and Do. Obviously, we'll be back next week with another episode. I'm glad to have Bo. I'm stuttering. I couldn't even get that out. I'm glad to have Bo on there. Hopefully, for those asking about Bo, this would help give you information about him. We'll probably be having all the employees to be able to speak on in the upcoming episodes. So thank you and have a great day, guys.